Hi, welcome to the flow today. We're going to be working into the upper body, not really strengthening it, but rather opening it up. Working into the shoulders, the upper back, and into the arms. It'll be gentle today, but focusing more on stretches rather than strength. So if you want to begin on the back of the mat, seated however you'd like, we'll begin with the breath technique and go from there. Ideally, just closing the eyes. Centering ourselves today, preparing for a meditative practice. Allow the chatter in your mind to begin to die away. Coming to a focus upon the inhales and the exhales. Notice your body in space. Feel the breath moving through you. Moving gently on, we'll come into a child's pose. Toes together, knees wide apart, hands begin to walk forward. Allow the torso to drop between the legs. The spine stays erect, energy flowing through the upper body and out of the fingertips. Continuing this steady flow of breath, bodily awareness, as we allow ourselves to be present today. It's so hard to sometimes sit in these still postures. To be present, and to be quiet and still. But there's always so much wisdom, so much knowledge that comes whenever we come back to an unstimulated place. We begin to recognize the little details around us and within us. So by cutting out all the excess, find ourselves diving into an internal place. Rolling forward, we come into tabletop position. Knees come in underneath the hips. Let's flex the heels towards the glutes and then begin to come forward with the torso. It's slightly similar to an upward facing dog. Activating the glutes, the hips drop down. And we come back, tabletop position. Let's do that a few times. Hips come forward, heels reach towards the glutes, back body's activated, open the shoulders. We roll back through the spine. Tops of feet touch the mat. Entering back into tabletop. Then come forward with the torso. Spine's still engaged. The muscles around the spine as the toes point towards the sky. Remember conscious breathing as we move through this flow. Coming back, natural tabletop position. We're going to thread the needle. So you can take the left hand, plant it strong, reach right hand towards sky. Breathing deep. Exhale, we thread the hand through. We're going to pulse a few times before holding the stretch. So inhale, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, threading through. Inhale towards the sky. Exhale, threading through. Remember, long spine, hips should stay equal distance apart. You're activating a deep twist with movement in the shoulder. Last time, inhale, reach high. And exhale, we're going to bring that right hand, thread it all the way through. Right shoulder drops down, left hand can come out a little bit further. Hips stay reaching towards the sky. There should be a decent long line from the left hand out through that left hip, as the right hip remains equal distance from the left. Now breathing deeply into that right shoulder, that back side of the body. Slowing down the breath. Perhaps you came into this practice a little tense, a little wound up, maybe thinking it was going to be a little fast-paced. Then it turned out it was a little slower than you had expected. Often life can bring us to those places where we desire to go somewhere, to get somewhere, to be somewhere. But it really is more beneficial to allow life to slow us down, to allow life to show us that the pace of nature is to gradually increase over a long period of time. Coming out of that stretch, we find ourselves entering back into tabletop. Let's roll through a few cat-cows, dropping the belly, reach the chest high. Then roll through the spine, tuck the belly button, press through the hands. Rolling like a wave, gentle through each vertebrae of the spine. Sinking breath with movement, and as the breath slows down, so does the movement. Coming back, natural tabletop. We plant the right hand strong, reach left hand towards sky. Begin to pulse the threading of the needle. Left hand goes through on the exhale. Reaching left hand up, inhaling. And we bring it back down, exhaling. Inhale. and exhale. Moving at a slow, steady pace. Sometimes these movements might seem repetitive, might seem mundane, but it is that meditative quality that comes along with it that changes the perspective of something so simple to something that can become very complex. Noticing the details within the body, how it interacts with every movement. Notice where the tension is. Last time we reached to the sky. Exhale, we're threading left hand through. Bringing left shoulder down, right arm reaches overhead. I've noticed we could build patterns and habits that seem to become so comfortable over time. And in our fast-paced lives, those habits that have become so ingrained in us, even though they aren't serving us any longer, we keep or hold on to them, thinking that it's necessary or something that we don't actually desire to give up. But it isn't until you begin to slow down that you notice the details. And in the details, these habits that have been so ingrained in us, you can look at them in a new light. And when you look at them in the new light, it might just be that it is no longer what you need. But it's hard to see that when you're moving consistently at such a rapid rate. Your body doesn't have time to speak. And you don't have time to listen. Come back out of that stretch. You bring the right hand in, utilizing that right palm to press us back into tabletop position. Let's roll through a few more cat-cows, sinking breath with movement. Recognize how it feels just to slow down even more. After all, life tends to come to us. And we have this idea that we need to go chase life. But as life comes to us, we more experience it rather than have a necessary need to go grasp it. From tabletop position, we'll move into puppy pose. Hips stay over the knees, and we're going to walk the hands towards the front of the mat. We drop the chest low. The ribs still stay tucked in. We don't let them fall down. There shouldn't be a big arch in the center of the spine, but it should be long and strong. This is more of a shoulder mobility stretch rather than a spinal flexion stretch. rotate those biceps a little bit more towards the sky. Press into those palms. Stretch through the spine. Lift the hips high. Tops of the feet could be pressed down on the mat. The knees stay steady. The hips are balanced. Shoulders are out of the neck. Allow your chest to drop down ever more deeply. Moving on, we walk the hands back, coming into a tabletop position. From here, we tuck the toes. We're going to work our way to a downward facing dog. Reach the hips up, press through the palms. Move the legs as necessary. Find some strength in this place. Find that connection with the breath. Always coming back to the center. Back to that present moment. Allow yourself to be at peace. Maybe you're experiencing some sort of thought or emotion that's arising, it's causing anxiety, keeping you from allowing peace to enter into you in these still moments. I would encourage you just to pray over those thoughts, to pray over those places that no longer need to be. You're capable of understanding what is useful and what is not. If something is not useful in this time and is causing you internal pain, we'll say a simple prayer against that. Allow it to diminish. Allow yourself to change from the inside. We're going to bring the feet together. Then we're going to roll onto the left knife edge of the left foot. Come into a side plank. We won't be here long. If you're capable of doing this, you can bring the right foot down to the mat, lifting that right knee towards the sky, or you can bring the feet together and drop the hips down to the mat, reaching right arm towards the feet. Working into a side bend stretch here. Keeping our body still in that side angle in a sense, where the shoulders are parallel with each other, the hips as well, the knees are stacked on top of each other, as well as the feet. Coming out of this, we reach right hand up and over, lift hips up. We drop right hand down, coming into downward facing dog. Switching sides, feet come together. We roll onto the knife edge of right foot. Side plank. If you want to take that variation, bringing the left knee up towards sky. Then you begin to drop the left foot and plant it in front of that right knee. Then begin to drop the hips towards the mat, reaching left hand towards the feet. There really is just so many more details than we ever care to recognize most of the time. I was talking to somebody about gardening, and they were saying the longer you stay in a place, the more vibrant, the more healthy and nutrient the soil can become, as long as you're willing to steward it. But if you keep moving around from place to place, you'll never be able to cultivate the soil. The practice of cultivation takes years. Moving on, lift the hips, press into right palm, coming into side plank. Moving back, downward facing dog. Almost done with the practice, fairly short today. Reach the hips high. And begin to walk your feet towards the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend knees, reach to sky, coming into mountain pose. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Take a moment to feel yourself rooted to the ground, connected with the breath, and present in place. Moving on, reach hands to sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Coming down onto our backs, we exhale, bring hips to mat. Bring our feet out in front of us. Coming into a short staff pose. Feet stretched out long. We really do activate the core here as we stretch through the spine. You could bend the knees generously as you wish here. We begin to fold forward from the front hip creases as the spine stays extended. You could come forward, grab a hold of the shins, the feet, whatever suits you. Ideally, you want a decent stretch, about like 70%, but you don't want to go too far into it. It is the breath that'll carry you through, but first you must allow yourself to find that kind of like 70% stretch, and then work into it. This will be pretty much the last posture we'll do before ending the practice. We'll come down into corpse pose after this. This is one more chance before the last meditation to allow yourself to really dive deep, to work within your body and allow yourself to find that peaceful inner state. Recognize what could be causing chaos or turmoil within while you hold these postures. Consider them, pray over them, or just let them go. Remember, the breath is always there. Still lengthening inhales, extending exhales. You can always work deeper into the stretch as your body allows yourself to open up. Moving on ever so gently. Begin to release the hold of the legs. From here, maybe press your palms down, extend through the spine. Recognize if there's any tension in the spine. Maybe rock your hips side to side. Sometimes those forward folds can be a little tight upon the back body. Maybe shake your legs out if that feels right for you. And we're going to scoot the hips forward just a little bit before rolling down onto our backs for our final Shavasana. If you like, you can bring the soles of the feet together for a reclined butterfly. Maybe taking one more conscious inhale before allowing the breath to naturally move. Releasing the restriction, releasing the control. This is your time just to be, to settle into that peaceful state you have just cultivated. A mind that you can rest in. A body that is open. Feel free to stay there as long as you'd like. Here's where I leave you. I wish you well and peace within. Namaste.